From Sarlacc to Snorlax, nerds are passionate about a lot of things, but there's something they love above all else, and that is correcting people. This is Actually. Joining us today, we have Zac Oyama.
Hello, I'm hoping to get second place. That would be great.
And Kirk Damato.
Konbanwa.
And Sam Bashor.
I'm very afraid right now.
Great. It's your first time here. Welcome. For any new viewers, the game is very simple. I have here a stack of statements. These are untrue statements, but the things that you know and love. I have huge fandoms out there somewhere who'll be very angry that I've said something untrue about it. It's up to you to find the thing that's wrong, buzz in, and correct me. Now, all of your corrections must be preceded by the phrase, actually. If you don't, I can't give you the point. And you can interrupt me at any point in the question. Just as soon as you hear the thing that's wrong, buzz in. You don't have to let me finish. And that is pretty much it.
You're just a liar.
Yes, this is a game of lies. This is a game of me being a liar and being put in my place by very angry people. And if you don't do it, they will. Grab your buzzers and we'll get started. This first question is about comics. In the X-Men comics, the classification Omega-level mutant generally designates those mutants with the most powerful abilities. Some of these incredibly powerful mutants include Iceman, Jean Grey, Matthew Malloy, Kid Omega, Professor X, and X-Man. Kirk.
Actually, X-Man would not be considered an Omega-level X-Man. He's just an X-level X-Man.
X-Man is actually an Omega-level mutant. And also a real X-Men. Zac.
Actually, Jean Grey is not an Omega level.
Jean Grey is also an Omega-level mutant, yeah. Sam.
Actually, it's Matthew Malloy?
No, it's a very normal-sounding name. Kirk, yeah.
But actually, then I would, by the process of elimination of who is the suckiest of the remaining three characters, I'd go with Bobby Drake, Iceman.
And you would be wrong.
That's crazy.
Iceman is an Omega-level mutant.
That's
Zac.
Actually, the guy named Kid Omega is not Omega level.
Kid Omega, actually an Omega-level mutant.
Did we say all of them?
No. There is, in fact, one more. It's incredibly surprising, which is why I think, yeah, go ahead.
Actually, Charles Xavier is not Omega level.
Professor X is not an Omega-level X-Man.
Why?
I don't know.
But Iceman is.
Iceman is.
Wow.
Iceman is an Omega level. Professor X is not, which feels fucked, right? Yeah. That shouldn't be.
He seems powerful.
He seems incredibly powerful. Well, my process of elimination, Zac, I guess I'll give you the
I feel kind of bad.
I don't know. All honor system view. Should I give you the point or should we?
No.
No.
Wow.
I don't think I should get the point.
I think to be fair, we did guess maybe 7 times before we landed on that.
Yeah.
I guess that's only fair. But
Take it away from me. I don't want it.
Well, no points for that one. Moving on to our next one here. The director of The Nightmare Before Christmas, Tim Burton, based the film on a 3-page poem that he himself had written several years earlier. Kirk.
Actually, no. It's based off of a children's book, which he had written.
Incorrect. It is a little poem, yeah. Yes.
Actually, Tim Burton did not direct that movie.
That's correct. Tim Burton did not direct A Nightmare Before Christmas. Do you know who did?
Oh, not a clue.
You don't have, I'll give you the point anyway.
Bert Timson.
Yeah. Night Before Christmas was directed by Henry Selick, which is crazy because it's the Burtoniest Burton movie that ever existed. But yeah, I guess at the time, Burton was busy directing Batman Returns.
Can we talk about making a movie based off a poem you wrote?
Oh, sure, we could talk about that.
Why? Do you have a poem that you've written?
I could. Okay. I could write a poem and sell some movies.
Based on the hit poem by Zac Oyama. Well, that is a point for Sam. All right, this is a video game question here. The characters in the first Mortal Kombat were all derived from a motion capture performance from one of 5 actors. The depiction of these realistic figures committing hyper-violent acts resulted in the creation of age ratings for video games. Kirk.
Actually, I don't think it was motion capture.
It was, yeah. It was this thing where they got these actors in here to perform some moves and animate them together, yeah. Sam.
Actually, it wasn't 5 actors. I think it was 2. It was just a male and a female, and they did all the parts.
No, there were in fact 5. Yeah.
Oh. Wait. Actually, Goro's not one of 5 actors. He's multiple actors that they put together. Oh no!
Please be right. Please be right.
No, but you know, you're all dancing around it. So the issue is Goro. So not every character was created through motion capture. Almost all of them were. The only one who wasn't was Goro. So Goro was created through like claymation stop motion animation. Everyone else was. So Goro was not in fact an amalgamation of multiple actors smooshed together. He was a claymation figure. So it is untrue to say that they were all created through motion capture. A very picky question for sure.
You remember that claymation fighting game?
Yes, Clay Fighter.
Clay Fighter.
Oh, okay.
Well, no points for that one either. Here's just a question about a little sci-fi movie question for you. In The Fifth Element, Corbin, Dallas, and Lilu rendezvous with Diva Plava Laguna on the luxury cruise Floston Paradise in order to retrieve 4 powerful element stones. After being fatally wounded, the Diva reveals that the stones are hidden in a trunk in her room.
Actually, the stones are in her.
That's correct. Yeah.
That gave me an absolute nightmare. It's like, do I have that? Same thing with the Rugrats episode where he eats the watermelon seeds and the watermelon grows out of him. 2 very distinct nightmares because of things in my belly.
Things inside you.
Yeah.
How do you feel about Alien? It's not going there. How did they get in there? I don't know what the initial plan was as far as like, cool, we'll swallow these stones, suppository these stones, somehow get these stones in you, and then
We don't have time to figure it out. Just eat the
do
stones.
it. Eat the stones.
Eat the stones, man.
All right.
Well, I got a performance later
Yeah.
today.
Well, that's another point for Sam for being haunted in his nightmares by stones emerging from a body. And this brings us to our very first shiny question. Shiny questions are like shiny Pokemon. They are worth the same amount. They're just a little bit different and a little bit rarer. So this you don't necessarily have to answer. Actually, you can if you just want to stay in the habit and not forget later. This is a game that we're calling Under Review. In just a moment, we're going to throw up on the screen, and I will also read aloud a movie review from which references to the specific movie are taken out. The first person who can buzz in and tell me what movie the reviewers are talking about will get the point. All right, let's go ahead and throw it up there. All right, so that might be a little hard to read. I'll read out loud. The first is a quote from Roger Ebert. It says, "A movie that obviously was made with infinite care and pains, and it began with a real inspiration. Why not create a fantasy out of some drawings of M.C. Escher? The movie is an impressive production that is often good to look at. Real thought went into it. Soundtrack is fine." Yes.
Actually, I don't know why I'm saying actually, but they're talking about Labyrinth.
They are talking about Labyrinth.
Wow.
Yes, they are. And I will also read Gene Siskel's review because, man, Gene Siskel hated this movie. He said, "An enormous waste of talent and money. Really quite awful, sharing a much too complicated plot and visually ugly style. A pathetic story. It has been said many times before in this space that the sight of a baby in peril is one of the sleaziest gimmicks a film can employ to gain our attention, but the director does it."
Man,
Wow.
Yeah.
Labyrinth rules. Old people can get bent, right?
I think Jim Henson said that.
Yeah. Fuck these guys. I also love from the second half of Ebert's quote where he says, "The soundtrack is fine." I mean, it's like, man, like you really just hate
Your
it.
review is fine.
Yeah. And that's it for this episode of Actually. Actually, it's not. There's way more of this episode over on Dropout. Go to dropout.tv and start your free trial today. I'll be right here. Well, I'll be over there. I mean, I'll be in both places at once, because this is just, there's more. Technology. The goal is to try to name as many of these aliens as you can.
Names like we just make up for them, like Brian or David or...
Yeah, names that they already have, but I
Okay,
guess if you
yes.